Hey scary people around the world. Welcome back to another Clueless Devlog for Lotus. A short 2D adventure game about a gnome on a quest to save their town from an ever-growing and unnatural rot. If you missed the first devlog, feel free to check it out to get an idea on what I'm going for. If not, no worries. Just know that this dev series documents my attempt to teach myself game dev, which means I have little idea on what I'm doing, and I'm just sort of winging it. So expect inaccuracies, plenty of bugs, and unoptimized chaos. With that out of the way, I just wanted to start by saying thank you to all the viewers who left such nice comments on the last video. I had no idea what to expect going into it, and was just met with overwhelming positive support. So again, thank you. With this video, I'm expecting a little more criticism, because now you get to see the absolute mess that I've concocted. Namely today, I will be showing off my cutscene manager, how I made it, how it works, some of the bugs and limitations it has, and what it now allows me to do. Before that, however, I found the best way to get my day started is through a walk in the forest. I live in the PNW, and it has proven to be an excellent place to get inspiration for the settings of the games I want to make. With it being winter, the environment tends to be extra moody, with especially foggy mornings, dark skies, and plenty of rain. However, at the filming of this video, the sun decided to grant me a brief respite from the gloom and radiate its vitamin D upon my deficient skin. The region Lotus takes place in is called the Lunar Vale, with a specific forest aptly named the Mistwood, which unfortunately I've recently realized shares a name with several other franchised regions, so the name is subject to change. Anyway, the Mistwood and large parts of the Lunar Vale are deeply inspired by the PNW. So I enjoy coming out here to gather ideas, educate myself on the region, and really just put myself in the world that I'm building. It's also my favorite place to be, which makes it that much easier to justify coming out here. Alrighty, so welcome to my chaos. I think the best way for me to show you how this works is show how I create a cutscene in the first place. So here I am in my map scene. This is the Mistwood town, and here in the, I guess you call this the header section, I have a variable called cutscenes. That's a dictionary. And I have, for every cutscene that happens within the Mistwood map scene, I have a key, which is just the name of the cutscene, and then the value is an array of cutscene actions, I guess you could call them. So, and then each action happens sequentially. So when this cutscene plays, what will happen is it'll run this first thing, it'll lock movement, it'll target the player, and then it will set the player's animation to idle. And then after that, it will move actor, target the sister, and then it sends it, and then it tells it sends the sister along this vector 2 path, or to this vector 2 target. And then the wait keyword, what that purpose is before it moves on to this next line, it will ensure that this cutscene action completes first. So these two things happen on either sequentially or almost sequentially. They happen like about at the same time. But before this dialogue action happens, this action must be complete. So once the sister actually makes it to this target here, then this next cutscene action can run. Then after the dialogue, it moves the actor again, and then the actor gets deleted, and then so on. So it makes it really easy to just quickly whip up a quick cutscene. I can just type in what I want them to do, and then it sends the data down over to the cutscene manager. I can trigger these cutscenes within the map. Right now I'm doing it with just state flags. So this is a temp flag here, but so it checks the state flag, and if it needs to be run, it will call cutscene manager, which is a global variable that can be accessed anywhere in my game. And it will start the cutscene. I'll send what cutscene I want to pass, and then I'll just send all the steps. And then after that triggers, I can, set state flags afterwards. So that's how I call it. That's how I set it up. And what happens here, this is where all the actual logic happens. This is the start cutscene function. It emits signals right now. I don't think I'm actually using them, but they're there. I probably should start using them. And then here's the run steps function. So this is it'll take the type that I have. So it'll take the type, so lock movement, and then it'll just match it to whichever cutscene action it is, and then it'll run the code inside. So lock movement, for example, we'll grab the actor. It'll call the actor's lock movement function, which all of my NPCs as well as the player will have. Set some booleans, and then it sets the active animation. Unlock movement obviously does the opposite. For move actor, it just gets a path, gets the current map, and then obviously sends them along the path. Animation, this is different than the character animation that I was talking about earlier. This is, right now all I'm using it for is like fading in and out of the screen. So I can kind of show what that looks like here in a second. And then dialogue, I'm using Dialogic for my dialogue. I really want to do everything by myself, but I've noticed that I tried making my own dialogue UI boxes and stuff, and it was a nightmare. So for now, Dialogic has been an amazing help. It's really made handling dialogue really easy. So I highly recommend that. And then delete actor, obviously just cue freeze the actor from the scene. And that's really all it is so far. It's pretty simple, really bare bones. And I guess I could try and show that in action. I think it'd be better to show off the parallax cutscene first. This is the first scene that runs when you start the game right now. What will happen is player's movement gets locked, and then the friend's movement also gets locked, which might sound kind of weird because you can't control the friend with your... You're not able to control the friend, but because I'm doing like a weird parallax effect, I need to set the animation for the friend to look to run, to move, even when they're not moving, if that makes sense. The background is just moving, not the friend. And the way I have the NPC's animation logic set up, it kind of breaks if I don't do it this way. It's kind of a weird, hacky way to get around it. But I lock the friend's movement, and then I set their animation to walk, so it looks like they're moving. And some dialogue will play. So you'll notice that, I guess I could just show it. So let's run the scene. So I can show you, so if I press WASD, I can't move the player around, but their animation set to run, as well as the friend here. Some poorly written dialogue will run. You decide here, you don't keep running. And then it's a quick fade out. It's quick, it needs work, but it's there. And then after that, it changes scenes. Yeah, so that's essentially the cutscene manager in action. I'm not sure if there's anything else really worth showing off. I guess the nice thing about the way I have it set up is I can quickly add in cutscene actions as I need them. So if I decide that I need to add something new, I can just run to this script here, define whatever I want it to be, and then just code it up and just have it work. I guess one of my challenges with this was to take more of a data-oriented approach. There's a lot of topics about object-oriented programming versus data-focused programming. I'm not knowledgeable enough to really have an opinion either way. I kind of just seem to try and use them when they seem to work. And I figured this made more sense in my brain, so that's what I went with. I don't know if it's the right option, it's just what I did. And I think that's probably all I have to show off for now. Alright, I think that's it for the cutscene manager. Sorry if it wasn't that interesting or entertaining. I'm still trying to figure out how to make these videos a bit more palatable and working on my crippling fear of speaking to a camera and editing. I think in the future it might be better to make the video as I'm working on whatever it is I'm trying to showcase, so you guys can see the whole process from the ground up. So I'll probably start doing that going forward. A couple things before I go. Doing this solo, I am actively working on several different aspects of the game simultaneously, so I'm wondering if there's anything specific that you guys would like to see. A few areas I think it might be worth delving into are maybe specifics about the story or the world, game and map design. I'm also going to need to take a stab at sound effects and audio at some point, or I could get into refining my current systems and making the game actually fun. These are all areas that I'm actively working on. Regardless, I'm just curious if there's anything specific that you guys would like to see. The other thing I wanted to mention is I've tinkered in the past with live streaming. I'm just curious if anyone would be interested in watching that. I found it weirdly stressful streaming to 0 viewers. It would likely not be that entertaining in the slightest, but I feel like it would help my presence on camera and hopefully make these videos a bit more tolerable. I wouldn't stream all my development, maybe just a couple hours here and there. So if that's something you might be interested in, let me know. And also let me know what you thought of the video, the cutscene manager, or anything else. I would love to hear all of your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and thank you again to all the lovely people who were so supportive in the first video. I hope you all have a lovely day.